Hi, motorcycle and power sports news. This is Jackie Van Ham here at Fuel Cleveland. I've got another excellent bike, and I have to admit, you're blowing my mind over here because it's something I've never even heard of, and it's your ride of the week.
This video is sponsored by Autolite, manufacturers of high-quality spark plugs since 1935. Visit Autolite.com for more information.
Chris Tope, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about this 1973 Wassell
Mudlark.
Mudlark.
Yeah, Mudlark.
Have you heard of that out there?
It's like a bird in the mud. Mudlark.
Mudlark.
Yeah.
I've literally never heard of this bike, so I knew I had to come chat with you about it. Can you go ahead and talk us through this very cool bike?
So it starts off, the frame and all that's 1973 Wassell Mudlark. It's been fabricated. It was dual shock, now it's a mono shock. It's a 125cc two-stroke. It's got a giant radial head, that's why it gives it that super wide stance to it, but it's just a little 125 two-stroke. So
yeah.
And it all began on I was walking past the store, and my background's biology, and so they had those, you know, those fake stuffed or taxidermy butterflies.
Yeah.
And I saw the wings, and I was like, that is perfect for an ice color bike.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it kind of developed into, and that's where she began her stance. And so everything, if you notice on this, it's supposed to reflect like ice.
Yeah.
Because it's an ice racer.
Yes.
It's got studded tires, and it's made for ice racing.
Well,
So,
I love that you, so where did you find a Wassell Mudlark?
you know, it's kind of crazy. I'm from Dallas, and I found this bike outside of Dallas. And there's only documented, I think there's only like 50 in the US documented,
Yeah.
still existing. And so when I found it, it was kind of crazy. It's almost mint. So, and that's when Michael Lichter called me right before that and said, hey, I got this show, Skinny Bikes, can you do it? And I remember seeing this bike listed online, and I was like, man, it's like the stars are aligning. So
yeah, it was meant to be with this bike.
Yeah.
And you were telling me a little bit before we jumped on camera about this Wassell Mudlark, how it's got a Sachs engine, as you can see on it. So it's kind of along the lines, you kind of made the analogy of like a Penton. Penton, a big name down here, or over here in Ohio, I should say.
Yeah.
It is a big deal here, and it had kind of the same idea, where it was an American company that imported an engine from overseas and built their own dirt bikes.
Yes.
This was the same kind of idea,
Yes.
but a company called Wassell.
Which kind of collabed with Penton. So John Penton actually helped develop this bike. And so a couple years ago, I actually got to show John Penton this bike. And he, I don't know if I should say this, but he did not like the original design. It wasn't a good bike. The Sachs motor has a lot of neutrals between each gear, so people would be shifting. That has been fixed on this one, but he saw this design and like, you blew it out of the way. So that was a big compliment alone, is because the originator of John Penton gave it approval.
That's awesome.
And he's the one that developed and designed a lot of it.
So you found this, you decided to turn this into your custom. Your company name is Utopeia,
Yes.
which is clever because his last name is Tope, so it's Utopeia Customs or Moto Company. And you did this is all metalwork underneath this beautiful paint.
Yes.
From our buddy at Crossover Customs.
Yes.
Casey down in Kentucky,
Casey.
one of our mutual friends.
Yep.
But this is all aluminum, formed aluminum underneath here.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
And it's a 5-piece aluminum pieces, and then I welded it together, and that's how it got that sharp point, because I wanted to go with the contour of the tank all the way down to this contour, match that. So.
Yeah. It is so cool. I love the details in it. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk through it with us. You blew my mind because it's a bike I've never even heard of, and now my mind is blown because of all the awesome details in this bike. Chris, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and this is your Ride of the Week.
Thank y'all.